I went to Cannes for the first time 1971. Believe it or not, I had enough money to rent a theater to show sugar cookies. I had two 35-millimeter cans of sugar cookies, but I didn't have a hotel. I slept on the beach, and we showed sugar cookies in the club cinema, and we made a few deals. Those days, the cops and the people and the police, everybody loved the fact that we were sleeping on the beach because it was a real festival, and I think that's what I came away with. Here's this amazing potage of big shots and Joseph Losey and little guys like me running around, and it really was festive. The festival was festive in 1971. We rented a couple of hookers, and they did a lesbian act for, I was with a friend, and it may have been Oliver Stone, I can't quite remember who it was. It was some kind of old friend, and I do remember that they kind of pretended they were lesbians, and of course in 1971 I was only 83 years old, so it made a big impression on me. I was unbelievably hungover, and I don't drink very much, but I happened to drink a lot on this rare occasion. And some Troma fans had told me the night before, I have to go see this movie. I have to go see this movie. So they woke me up at 8:30 in the morning to go to the Marché du Film to see Il est arrivé près de chez moi, a Belgian movie. In English, I think it's called Man Bites Dog. I saw this movie at 8:30 in the morning. My head was ready; had exploded, I think. And it just knocked me out. This was the best movie, Il est arrivé près de chez moi. It was so funny and interesting and different. The directors were, in those days of Il est arrivé près de chez moi, they were not famous. So when I was there, they were like all over me. The Troma, they were really happy. They're big fans of Toxic Avenger and Class of Nukem High, and we're influential on those guys. But later, the next year, we had a Troma party, and one of the directors came to the party, and we were promoting Class of Nukem High Part 3, The Good, the Bad, and the Subhumanoid. And Brick Bronsky, who's the star of our movie, wanted to have a picture with Benoit, I think his name was. And no picture. Troma is famous for the parades in our street theater, and we've been doing it for 30-some-odd years. And I remember getting off the plane. The Troma team would go ahead of me, and I'd get off the plane, and the first thing that hit me was we had this big fat guy who was going around in kind of a diaper, and Richard Krause, Canadian film critic, ran over to me and said, "Hey, your guy just got arrested. The police just took him away." And that made me feel real good. Roots of Troma's famous Cannes guerrilla marketing actually started in 1971. I brought leaflets of sugar cookies, and I would put them on in those days you could park the cars on the Croisette. You could park cars in front of the Carlton. So I would go up and down the Croisette between the Majestic Hotel and the Martinez, and just keep putting those leaflets and the screening times of sugar cookies. Yoram Globus was doing the same thing. Yoram Globus of the boys from Tiberias, Menachem Golan and Yoram Globus, the guys who had Canon and were great icons in the film independent industry. And Yoram was doing the same thing. 25 years later at Cannes, I ran into Yoram, but I was still putting leaflets on the car windows, and he was owning the Martinez Hotel pretty much. One of the most sublime moments of my Cannes experience over 35, 40 years is I was up all night, oddly enough, drinking. And in those days you could actually get pretty good ganja. And I was having a pretty good blowout with the Troma team. And around 6 in the morning, I'm coming out of, I think the Carlton or somewhere, and over at the Petit Carlton, which doesn't exist anymore, there's Robert Altman, and he's having eggs. And normally I wouldn't do this, but I actually went over and said hello because he's a big hero in Tromaville. And he was so nice and so interested, and he was actually asking me questions about Troma Entertainment and the kind of movies we made, and he was asking about our business model too, which I thought was interesting because I'm an auteur. I'm thinking about the auteur theory of cinema and all that. But that was really, really weird to be up all night, be drunk on drugs, and to have a morning with Robert Altman, who I assume must have been up all night too, because unless he gets up very early and goes fishing.